So I figured out how to become a master of getting girls to kiss me on the cheek. Okay. And that's the most PG way I can say it. But I've gotten really good with girls in my life. I've posted about it quite a bit. And obviously on this channel, I help guys get better with women. And I did that through a few key ways. And in this video, I'm just going to tell the first part of my story. There's three main parts to my story. And if you want the rest of it, you can leave a comment down below. I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time by telling some boring story about an 18-year-old kid that got obsessed with getting validation from women. Okay. But I think there's a lot of valuable learning lessons. So in this first video, I'm going to talk about my journey from 18 to 19. I started cold approach really young. Okay. And the reason I did was because I was really insecure and shy. I was always the kid that was scared to shake anybody's hand if my dad would introduce me to people. I would be scared to shake their hand or introduce myself. I would always hide behind my parents. I was always shy. And I got picked on a little bit when I was in middle school. Looking back on it, it's a lot of stuff I brought on myself. But I was always a funny kid, like at home. And I was funny with my friends. But I was just too insecure to be myself around other people. And that kind of snowballed as I got older. I was kind of a fat kid growing up, and it wasn't it wasn't the best time. I remember I had a couple girlfriends, and I got my first kiss when I was like 14. But these girlfriends were like, they last for a day. The girl would break up with me, like with her friend or whatever. And it was just like super weird, childish stuff. I didn't really get a girlfriend until I was 17 because I made the basketball team. So, super shy growing up. I got cut from the basketball team actually when I was 16. And it's because I was fat and out of shape. And so I started getting in some better shape. I really just got skinny and got to where I could run a lot. I wasn't strong. Didn't have these guns, baby. Didn't have those for sure. I was just skinny. And got in shape enough to make the basketball team. And I got my first girlfriend for like 2 weeks, and we made out like twice. I think I touched her boob. It's pretty crazy. And it was all just because I messaged her some cringe stuff on Facebook. Like, it was super cringe. And that's how I talked to like all the girls. There were a few girls I texted throughout high school. I was always the friend zone guy. I like got, rejected all the time. I was super weird, like texting girls like, haha, you're so pretty, LOL, like super nervous and shy about it. It's super awkward. And I always looked up to guys that had no trouble with women. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was I dated a girl my senior year of high school, and I was actually playing on the basketball team. I wasn't just sitting the bench. And she went to another school. You didn't know her. And I lost my virginity to a girl before that I dated for like 6 months. And, I was hooking up with this girl. We were dating for like a month, and then I found out she like cheated on me, and she broke up with me out of nowhere, and it was awful. Never been more sad. I thought I was going to have like I thought I was going to marry this girl, bro. It was brutal. I thought this was the girl for me. It's over. We're going to date for multiple years. I'm going to marry her, and it's going to be game over. It's going to be awesome. I like met her family. It was great. And I was like, dude, what? And that was like the first slap in the face from reality. Like, hey man, maybe this isn't how dating's supposed to work. So I got a bit of revenge in me. I wanted to be vengeful and get good with women, kind of get back at the world for, mistreating me or whatever cringe stuff I thought back when I was 18. So I looked up these videos online, and it started with like prank videos from this guy, Simple Sexy Stupid. His name's Arya. I think he like makes music now or something. I don't even know what he does, but he did these prank videos, and sometimes he'd end up like making out with the girls. And he was friends with these guys, Jesse and Kong from Simple Pickup. And Simple Pickup was awesome because not only did they have a $50 product that I could afford when I was in high school, but they also were very, very simple in terms of what pickup actually was. So I got into cold approach pickup when I was 18 and still in high school. And the main lessons that I learned there were literally just go outside, talk to girls, show intent, make it man to woman. And if she shit tests you, that's a good thing. And just remain calm. Rejection is awesome. Those are like the main takeaways. I remember the biggest change was like the first time I got rejected because I had been brainwashed by these videos. I was like, dude, awesome. Like approaching is awesome and getting rejected is awesome. That was hilarious. And first time I got rejected, I felt amazing. And this is actually probably an experience that a lot of you guys might have had. The first rejection, if you do it in the right way, if you have the right headspace going in, feels really good. It actually doesn't feel bad. And some of you guys might not resonate with that, but I promise, like, if you sign up for my free course, which should be in the link below, there's the mentorship sign up, and then there's the link below to sign up for my newsletter. That newsletter, you'll get access to my free approach anxiety course. If you go through that, I promise you, you'll view rejection completely differently. And it's free. It's super good in there. But I don't know if you can tell, this is like super unedited. But going out and talking to girls and getting those first few rejections were amazing for me. So I was approaching, just to give you guys an idea, 5 to 10 girls, maybe like 4 to 6 girls a day, 4 days a week probably, for about a month. Okay, and I got some numbers. They flaked on me, typical experience, like, got some numbers. The girl didn't want to talk to me again. Cool, no worries. I think I got my first couple numbers probably the first week, and then I didn't get a text back from any of those numbers at all. Until a month in, I talked to this girl that worked at Zoomies at the mall, and she was a freshman in college. So you can imagine, as a high school kid, I felt super cool. Got her number, and then we went on a date. And I don't even remember what we did. I think we might have gotten some food, and then we parked in like a mall parking lot. Or no, a movie theater parking lot. And we made out. And I was like, holy shit. And I like, dude, I like, her like shirt was off. I was like, dude, this is sick. And it was all from cold approach. Okay. And this was a month in. A month in, probably 70 plus approaches. Okay. So this is not, like, just so you guys know, this is not easy, right? I was going out, getting rejected all the time, walking around for 2 to 3 hours a day, just trying to talk to girls. Okay. I put in a lot of effort into this. And we went on a second date. We hung out like at her dorm, and we ended up having sex. And I was like, dude, I got laid. Let's go. Let's go. That's so hype. And then she like went away. Didn't want to hang out again, obviously, because I probably sucked. I was probably really just like not fun to hang out with, to be honest. I was an 18-year-old kid, so obviously I'm not that cool. So anyway, that is, the experience of getting laid for the first time from cold approach. And I learned a few key things. Obviously, like I said before, rejection is awesome. Okay. And I'm going to end this with how I got my first girlfriend. Okay. So rejection is awesome. And I really learned that you need to get rejected and you need to put in a lot of effort. And honestly, the effort didn't even feel that bad because I knew that it was possible. So if you brainwash yourself, this is a big lesson for you guys. If you brainwash yourself into thinking that results are possible, then you're going to be totally fine. Like, you're going to get results eventually. If you put a man and a woman in a room together for long enough, they're going to have sex. And if you understand that, you're chilling. Okay? So fast forward, I'm watching a lot of RSD Max, who's now Max Torno. He's like a business guru now. But I was watching a lot of his stuff. And going into the summer, I ended up getting laid like 5 or 6 times. I think I slept with like 8 girls that summer. I was completely obsessed with getting pussy. I was completely obsessed with it. I was like doing whatever. I was like texting girls on Instagram. I was using all these concepts that I was learning. I was applying the stuff in person to my texting, and I was just taking tons of action. I was a massive action taker, okay? And at this point, I think I'd spent about $100 on that course from Simple Pickup. It was like a monthly thing, so I paid for 2 months of it, and then I dropped it because I didn't have any money. And this was a really like awesome summer. Hooked up with like 8 girls or something. And it got to the point where they were like hot too. And I was like, holy shit. So I think my body count was like 10 or something at this point. And I was like, dude, my life is going to be dope because I'm not even done yet. I'm about to go to college. So I get to college and I start cold approaching. And this is where I take my first big dip in results. So I hook up with like 3 or 4 girls at college. Like, I'm in a frat, so I'm like gaming at parties and stuff. Maybe I ended up hooking up with like 6 girls. So my body count's like 16, 17. But I started gaining weight. I started getting fat. I stopped working out. I stopped playing basketball, which was a big thing. And I started playing a lot of video games. So I got kind of depressed. Didn't really do that well in school. So I transferred and I went back home to live with my parents. So this is like the first kind of down phase of my adult life. And the biggest lesson I learned here was like you can't get complacent with chasing comfort. Like what I should have done is focus on how can I keep my discomfort high. But I was just so focused on, okay, I'm getting results with girls. Like I just want to kind of ride it out and have fun. And that's like what college is for, right? But what I realized was you need to keep discomfort high. So I finished out school. The first half of my second semester, I dropped out. So I finished out the first semester, go back home with my parents, drop out of the new school I was going to, and I actually bought the Natural from RSD Max, which is another pickup course. And that was like $500, $600. And the big thing I learned from this was that not only is it, I think the biggest mindset shift was that women are not attracted to the guy that's perfect. They're attracted to the guy that is perfectly fine with himself. And this really skyrocketed my results because over that summer, I was going out basically every weekend. I was just playing video games. I was going to be a pro gamer. Okay, so I was playing a lot of video games at this time. I was going to play pro Overwatch because that game just came out. It was 2016. So I was going out a lot. And I still didn't pull, but I was getting dates and I was like almost pulling. And I ended up hooking up with like 2 or 3 more girls. But then this was around the point where I got on Tinder for the first time. And I matched with this girl and we ended up going on one date, made out in the car. It was cool. And then she ended up coming over like to my parents and we hooked up and I was like, oh shit. Okay. So this is my girlfriend now because she was hot. And I was like, wow, okay, she's cool. So, this is where the story ends for now. But I can continue. The next phases are just becoming intermediate, lessons I learned from my relationship. Because this relationship ended up going for 6 months and then it ended for about 6 months. And I can tell the story of that. And we got back together for 2 years, ended up living together. It was like a longer term thing. This was like more of my intermediate stuff, learning like the intermediate stuff of game and also learning mistakes from my relationships. And then the next video I can make is going to be on mastering game where I actually, I dropped like $3,000, $4,000 on a dating coach. And I like really doubled down and became like really, really good where I was pulling like 7 out of 10 nights. And this is when I was like 22 to 23. If you guys want to hear more about this, if you want to hear the next levels of the story, okay, this is like my beginner path. And so for some of you guys, like if you haven't gotten laid from cold approach yet, like you're still a beginner until you get laid a good amount from cold approach, okay? Like I was going out tons, making tons of approaches. I still consider myself a beginner. There are levels to this, all right? Hopefully you guys found this interesting. I kind of just rambled. So if this was dog shit, please tell me in the comments. I want to have more of a personal connection with you guys and like tell you more about my story and what I actually did to become really good at getting girls to like me. Because girls like me, man. Girls like me. There's no denying it. Anybody that goes out with me now here in Nashville, like girls are very drawn to me and I can insert myself into an interaction like the girl wants to. I mean, not every time, obviously. I'm not a miracle worker, but girls want to go home with me and they ask. And I have to say politely no, because I'm a married man, okay? But, I still go out to practice what I preach, show you guys that's possible, and that's just what it is, all right? So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.